Anytime's great for football, but I know when it feels just right.
I'm gonna kick back, relax.
Watching football on a Friday night.
It's Friday!
And we're gonna be hard to take.
Eagle roll! It's Friday!
Coast to coast.
The CFL is Canada's game.
We're all pumped up to party! And we ready for a fight. Kick back, relax.
Watching Friday night football.
The boys are all back. Playing CFL football. The game is up for grabs.
It's Friday night football tonight.
Thanksgiving weekend in the CFL kicks off from the Heartland where the Roughriders hope to lock up the West. Trevor Harris saying right now is the most important time to be playing winning football. On the other side, with Nick Arbuckle being shut down for the season, it is Jarrett Daggy making his second start of the season. The Argos officially eliminated from the postseason last week, hoping to spoil the party at Mosaic tonight. You can never spoil this party on a Friday night.
Never
though. Gabriel Ness alongside Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, Milt Siegel as we get set for the Argos taking on the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And Enoch, I gotta ask the question: is there any chance the Argonauts pull off the upset tonight?
I don't see it tonight, Kate. I don't see it. This Saskatchewan Roughriders team has a lot to play for. When you're playing for a week off, it means a lot. This team exactly knows what they have in front of them. Trevor Harris and the rest of that offense is going to be locked in tonight. That defense is going to be blitzing, and they're going to be active tonight as well. They're going to be willing to. They're going to want to win tonight, Jazz.
It's less what Sask does have to play for than what Toronto doesn't have to play for, and that's why it's really tough. I know we always say you're a pro and you go out and you get paid to play, and every week you put on the line. I'm not buying it. I'm ready to book my ticket to Cancun. I don't want to get hurt and spend another 3 months getting treatment. I'm checked out if I'm a Toronto Argonaut. It's reality. It's tough. I know some guys will play, but that's just the reality of pro sport.
You know how long I've been waiting to answer this question?
Oh, boy.
All my life.
Really? This question?
All my life I've been waiting to ask this question.
Hit us up,
I think one or two things are going to happen. Either Toronto's going to win this game and it's going to be close, or Saskatchewan is going to blow them out. Literally mollywop them. If Saskatchewan comes out early and puts them out of their misery, lets them know that you don't have a glimmer of hope, this game could get ugly. But if Toronto can come out and they can put up a fight, they have an opportunity. One or two things are going to happen.
The guys, let me rephrase a little bit what I was saying. The guys who are playing for roster spots, different story on the Toronto Argonauts. Those guys, you got to play because you're fighting for a job. Other guys who are veterans, it's really difficult to play in a situation.
You were talking about veteran Davis Sanchez there.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about me. No. I always put it on the line.
What?
Really?
Yeah. Plus, I was always in the playoffs anyway. We hosted Eastern Finals. That's what we did.
Oh,
dang.
What?
Dang. I don't know if we see the starters by halftime for these guys right here. Wow.
I'm going to see lots of this guy.
Quick.
AJ and the Riders taking on the Argos. Kickoff from Mosaics next. Brenda Botham of Calgary, Alberta. This is your chance to win big thanks to Save on Foods' $1 Million touchdown to win. If the kickoff is return for a touchdown, you could win groceries for a year. If two kickoffs are returned for touchdowns in this game, you can also win $1 million. Good luck, Brenda. Let's get you to Mosaic. It's Dustin Nielsen and Dwayne Ford.
A bit of a breeze in the air, but other than that, a beautiful evening in Regina as we kick off Week 19 with the Riders and Argos on Friday Night Football. Two teams on different paths right now. Toronto officially eliminated from playoff contention. The Riders, with a win tonight, can lock up first in the West.
Yeah, and obviously big for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. They've been fairly consistent through this season, a great start, and one of the keys to that has been their quarterback, Trevor Harris. 4,000 first as a Saskatchewan Roughrider, over 300 yards in each of his last 2 games. Meanwhile, far less experience under center on the other side. Jarrett Daggy makes his 3rd career start, came off the bench for an injured Nick Arbuckle last week for the Argonauts.
Dinwiddie and his team had won 3 in a row. Looked like they might salvage the season, but since then they have lost 3 in a row. We'll look to snap that tonight. Corey Mason, his club, 6-1 versus the East this year, 5-2 at home. Toronto won the coin toss. Will get the ball to get us started on just a beautiful Friday night in the Prairies. 19 degrees at kickoff in Regina as the Riders look to wrap up best in the West for the 2025 campaign. We are underway. High, shorter kick. This is going to drop in. Grant takes it at the 35, near sideline, out to about the 45 before he is pushed out of bounds. And our first look this evening at Jarrett Daggy.
Yeah, you see there Jarrett Daggy's numbers on the season. Some ups and downs certainly for him in limited time, but played the majority of the game last week as Nick Arbuckle was knocked out in the first series, a shoulder injury that will put him on the shelf for the remainder of the season. So a pretty good audition here for the former Edmonton Elk.
Daggy will start at his own 46. And they'll start it on the ground. It goes nowhere. Not even back to the line of scrimmage for this Toronto offense.
And we take a look at this group. They get a little bit more experience back in that offensive line. 4th-year man Brandon Kemp comes in at left tackle. And Dejon Brissett, 2nd overall pick in the 2020 draft for the Toronto Argonauts, enjoying a career year. 833 yards for him so far. That's a career high for Brissett, who's really emerged as a leader for the Argos this season.
Had 8 catches last week for almost 100 yards. Daggy dumps it off. Brought away. Will be stopped short of the first down. Herslow had 4 catches last week. Gets 10 yards there, but after they lost a couple on first down, it'll be 3rd and 2.
We'll take a look here. You'll see Herslow on the delay coming in behind that offensive line. Little slip screen. Herslow, one of the breakout stories of this 2025 Canadian Football League season. A guy who started his CFL career with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, spent some time on their PR before moving on to Toronto.
3rd and 2. Toronto's offense remains on the field. 3 options. Right at midfield here. To the left for Daggy. Trying to draw the Riders offside, but they stay strong in front of a great crowd here at Mosaic.
Yeah, Argos obviously taking a shot there to see if they can get the Riders to gift them that first down. But with a young quarterback playing, I think you're going to see the Toronto Argonauts in a lot of instances tonight really playing for field position, etc., trying to make sure that they keep their offense and Jarrett Daggy in good positions as much as they can in positive situations.
Mauro Alford back in the lineup for the Riders. This week he waits on his own 10-yard line. Big Haggerty ready to kick it away. First punt of the game. And he directs this one far side. That's a booming kick. And that's going to bounce all the way into the end zone. Alford on a 69-yard kick will take a knee, and we'll get our first look at 4,000-yard man Trevor Harris for the Riders.
And Trevor Harris, a guy who has really been something of a model of consistency throughout his Canadian Football League career. I think that's been particularly important this year. A lot of changes throughout the year to that receiving core around him. Great depth in that group. But Trevor Harris, whoever he's had in the lineup, they've done a pretty good job overall moving the football.
Down by a single. Look at the ball on their own 40 here. AJ led into the slot. Harris looking to throw. Throws to his running back. Let's got it. wrapped up immediately by D'Arcangelo. Let's take a look at the Saskatchewan offense.
And on that offense, you've got left tackle Peyton Collins, who's been a nice find for the Riders this year. Good chance of being their most outstanding rookie nominee. And to me, one of the great unsung free agent signings of this past offseason, Tommy Neal, former Toronto Argonaut, doing a terrific job starting the last string of games for the Riders as they battled injuries in that receiving corps.
2 touchdowns over 4 years in Toronto, 4 this year for the Riders for Tommy Neal. Harris looking to throw again over the middle, has a man, midfield, a little bit of room to run, and Emilus will take it down inside the 20 before they eventually wrap him up. Big play, Harris to Emilus.
And here's a couple of guys looking to rediscover their groove together. Emilus, the number 2 receiver in that Trips formation. He's just going to drag across the field. You've got man coverage defender Brandon Dozier trying to stay with him, but this is exactly the point of these crossing type routes. Is it's a lot of ground to cover. You've got a defender trying to work through traffic to shadow his receiver. 65-yard wide field offers an opportunity to get open that way.
50-yard strike to Emilus. Now a toss. Bit of a sweep here to A.J. Ouellette. He'll take it down just outside the 10. Let's take a look at this Toronto defense.
Defensively for these Argonauts, Jamin Pelly, former University of Calgary star, a sack and season-high 4 tackles for him last week against Hamilton. Isaac D'Arcangelo takes over at middle linebacker for the Argonauts. They've shut down Winton McManus for the season. Keep an eye on rookie Delonte Hood at the corner. He's back in after missing last week. So 3 rookies starting for the Toronto Argonauts on the back end.
Riders 63% inside the red zone this season. A.J. Ouellette will stand to the left to Trevor Harris. 3 to the right, 2 to the left, throws to the right, down to the 5, looking to the end zone, in! Touchdown Riders! Robustelli back in the lineup and back in the end zone, his 3rd of the season.
We talked about the depth of this Riders receiving corps. Robustelli, a guy who's had some big games here in his 2nd season as a Saskatchewan Roughrider, in tonight in place of Dante Myers, who's injured. We know Myers has been among the league leaders in receiving touchdowns this season with 8, so Robustelli off to a good start in terms of filling his shoes.
The Riders are going to go for 2 early in this ball game. Strong wind into their faces. Not sure if that factors into this or not. Harris throwing for a couple more. Back of the end zone, dropped. Oh, should have been caught. No doubt. Robustelli had the touchdown, but couldn't haul in 2 more. Saskatchewan, though, on top, 6-1.
There's Joe Robustelli, who had the Riders touchdown, opened their scoring moments ago. You see he gets a little bit of a rub there on the outside defender as he works his way underneath. Argo's unable to pick it up. Trading off between defenders as he works inside.
23rd passing touchdown of the year for Trevor Harris. 4 plays, 70 yards in less than 3 minutes, highlighted by a 50-yard strike to Emilus. Another short kick. This one bobbled in feet, still bouncing around. It actually ends up in the hands of Janarian Grant, I believe, at the 46-yard line. Disaster averted for the Argos. Daggy will have the ball, trailing by 5 when we return to Mosaic in Regina. Oh, things could have gone from bad to worse here very quickly for the Argos as this ball bounces away. It was live, went off a foot, and ended up in the hands of Janarian Grant, who the Riders are clearly trying to keep it away from.
Yeah, and it's tough to tell. I mean, the wind is playing a factor here as well for the Saskatchewan Roughriders in terms of a couple of shorter kickoffs, but the Argos need to adjust their alignment to what Saskatchewan's doing.
Wind of about 24 kilometers an hour right now at the back of Daggy. Now hand it off against the Saskatchewan defense.
And on this defense, we'll see a little more of Ali Saad on that defensive line at tackle. We'll still see Mike Rose, but with a couple of Canadian DBs out of the lineup, they've got to balance the ratio. The Canadian starter at D-line, A.J. Allen, another Canadian starter on defense, has been terrific, had a pick last week. And Sheldrick Redwine into the lineup at the boundary halfback spot. Just a few weeks into his CFL career, he's in for an injured Roland Milligan as the injuries pile up in the Riders secondary.
Daggy looks to his left. Flag flies as he gets it away, finds Herslow. Could be a first down as he takes it down to the Saskatchewan 50. I think it's coming back. Justin McGinnis, our referee for tonight's affair here at Mosaic.
Face mask, Toronto, number 51. It's 15-yard penalty. It remains second down.
It's John Boss of the University of Calgary, third rounder back in 24.
Yeah, Boss in the lineup, starting at right guard. Tonight, we'll see here, protection just as he went to make that first punch, get a hand on, let that hand slip up to the face mask of Micah Johnson.
So instead of a first down, it's a second and 22. Quite the swing. They'll sort of set up a screen. Mital near side, makes a move, pushes it out to the 50, and that's where they will stop him. Got 17 of the 22 that they needed, but they'll be forced to kick it away.
Yeah, nice effort after the catch here from Mital. Dejon Brissett, the other receivers out there blocking. Dave Unger out there as well. You know, Argos, again, trying to limit the risk a little bit in terms of trying to get those yards back. So trying to go to a high percentage play and let the receiver do the heavy lifting. Close but no cigar on that one.
Haggerty averaging just over 50 yards per punt. Had a 69-yarder to open the game. This is hammered away from his 40. Shorter this time. Hangs up there. Bounces. And Alford, after a 49-yard kick, just has to lay down on it. And Trevor Harris already has a passing touchdown in this game. He'll have the ball back as the Riders' journey to first in the West underway here tonight at home. Welcome back to Regina. Saskatchewan with a 6-1 lead at home about midway through the first quarter, and their offense looking outstanding on that first drive. 4 quick plays, and let's break it down with Luke Wilson on the sideline.
Yeah, Dusty, you know, on that early drive, Toronto came out and tried to play man coverage against Saskatchewan. Trevor Harris said absolutely no problem. You want to do that against this receiving core, we're gonna cook you up. So MLS right now, you're gonna see this. He creates separation by kind of going into his defender and ripping across the field here. Easy pitch and catch, huge play. So again, you can't cover this wide receiver group in man coverage. Then you go to the touchdown here to Robistelli. So this is man coverage, but what Toronto's trying to do is basically play in and out here. So it's a very great passing concept, and that's why no one's tracking him. But again, it is man coverage, and you just can't play the depth and the talent of these receivers in man coverage. So I would expect Toronto to run a lot more zone here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What are you supposed to do, right? Harris does a pretty good job of picking anybody apart.
Totally, and again, it is a bit of a bold strategy coming out against these guys and playing man, and against a veteran quarterback like Trevor Harris, just lining up in it. I do wonder if it's something that Toronto maybe said, hey, our season's over, let's see if our guys can play man, and they learned that pretty quickly on the first drive that that's not what's going on.
Yeah, definitely an interesting matchup in terms of personnel. You've got great experience and depth in that Saskatchewan receiving core. The Toronto Argonauts, as I mentioned, starting 3 rookies in their defensive secondary.
2nd and 9 for Harris over the middle, and that is broken up. Sluka got a hand in on it, and that'll bring up a 3rd down, and it'll be a 2 and out here for Saskatchewan.
Yeah, Derek Sluka, one of those rookies, and certainly a guy who will be in consideration for the Toronto Argonauts nomination as most outstanding rookie. Nice break up there coming downhill on the play.
The Riders wearing their fan favorite Obsidian jerseys here at home tonight. Fans absolutely love those ones.
How do play-by-play guys feel about them?
My mom always said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. They look sharp, just not from the booth, as that is kicked out of bounds at midfield.
CFL Thanksgiving weekend on TSN is brought to you in part by WestJet. WestJet, the official airline of the CFL, and where your story takes off.
Jared Daggy hoping that maybe a story for him can take off tonight. Just his 3rd career start. Had an interesting day coming off the bench early for Arbuckle last week. Set a CFL record for completions for somebody coming off the bench, but threw a handful of interceptions as well. Daggy on the run to his right. Down the field, finds a spot in the defense, but DeMarcus Fields blows it up.
Yeah, Daggy puts it on the money here. It's a tight window. He threads the needle, but so tight that the defenders are immediately on Dejean Brissett to prevent him from securing that catch. DeMarcus Fields, the model of consistency in this injury-riddled Saskatchewan secondaries. He started every game at field half.
51 tackles, 6 knockdowns coming into this one. Daggy. See where this is spotted. Could be a 1st down. He goes back to Herslow. Busy start to the game for Jake Herslow, who leads this team with 9 touchdowns on the season.
Get a look at Herslow going to work here. Just wraps it around that Will linebacker in his drop. Daggy finds him to move the sticks.
Toronto's offense, whether it's Daggy now or Arbuckle earlier in the year, they attack things through the air. They do not get much going on the ground. Just over 50 yards per game all season for this Argos offense. They'll try here. Know where to go again. Mentioned Daggy coming in last week after Arbuckle injured early, set a CFL record for the most completions, coming off a bench with 34.
Not a bad relief performance as a young quarterback. He mentioned the interceptions that were a challenge, but he was facing pressure all game last week, largely because the Argos, they haven't had much of a run game all year. I mean, they are a passing team. You get a young quarterback in there and a defensive group that smells a little bit of blood.
Nick Arbuckle watching on as he will for the rest of the season. Daggy over the middle again. Could have been taken away by Jameer Thurman. Had one last week. Could have had another one there.
Brissett appeared to be the targeted receiver again. They clear things for him. He's working across the middle. Jameer Thurman already with 3 picks on the year. Very nearly had number 4. Would have been back-to-back weeks for the veteran middle linebacker.
The wind at the back of Haralahu. He's 9 of 11 beyond 50 this year. This would be his 10th. The all-time record, Sergio Castillo hit 11 from beyond 50 just last year. This is straight away a deep shot from 54. That is up, and it is a no-doubter off the leg of the Argos kicker. Haralahu gets it done early. his 52nd field goal of the season. This one from 54 yards out.
I'm back. I'm back.
The flames are high and the pressure is on. Master Chef Canada, all new Tuesday on CTV, and you can stream it the next day on Crave.
Lobbying for a guest judging position on
Oh, really?
the show. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a great
Put in
idea.
my application.
Start one of those petitions online.
Yes.
Hey. I'd watch that. 4.5 to play in the first quarter. Thank you very much for joining us. Friday Night Football on TSN. AJ Ouellette pushing it ahead. And he'll be stopped just shy of that 45. Trevor Harris, interesting last 6 games for him at that 4-game stretch. Less than 230 yards a game, but he's come together in these last 2.
Yeah, over 300 in each of those last couple of games. Getting back to that early season form that had the Riders off to such a great start. You know, an 18-game season, you're always going to have some ups and downs, but it is the teams who are most consistent, able to sustain those highs a little longer, and certainly finish strong, that stand out in this league.
Dealing with a bit of a shoulder issue that's needed some maintenance over the last few weeks. Now the ball pops out. Harris tries to get back on it, but Toronto has it. Harris is immediately saying, I was passing it forward when I lost it. Parrish comes up with it, and the officiating crew will have something to sort out right now.
Yeah, the arm definitely coming forward. I'm not convinced that it wasn't intended to be a pump fake, but...
Ruling on the previous play is an incomplete pass. Be third down.
There you get a look, and I from that perspective, kind of think that Trevor Harris was going to throw, and I think he tried to pull this one back, and that was where he lost it. But the ruling is as it is, Saskatchewan ball.
It'll be a 3rd and 6. They'll have to kick it in the direction of Janarian Grant. Grant waits just inside his own 25. Mirko, the first-year punter out of Vanderbilt. Low driving kick. That one's just going to settle right down on the 23-yard line. Grant spinning away. Flags will fly as he takes it out beyond the 35. Jared Daggy getting the start here tonight, has a connection to the Riders. For more on that, let's send it down to Britt Dork.
Yeah, and anyone at home that said, haven't I seen Daggy before on a jersey in the CFL? You have, for the Riders. His older brother, Seth, was a quarterback with Saskatchewan. Back in 2014, he got 1 start that season. He's currently the quarterback's coach at the University of Arizona. But Jared told us he did make a trip to Saskatchewan at that time, knew nothing about the CFL, fell in love with it, said he loved the fans, the tailgating. His brother brought him down to meet Darian Durant, if you've ever heard of him. And that was when Jared told himself, maybe one day I could have a future in the CFL. So here we go, boys. See what the future holds.
And Jared telling us he had a lot of awareness of the CFL after that, followed the league a little bit on his own, even after his brother was done playing here. So he wasn't flying blind when he eventually came north himself in terms of the rules.
Wants to throw here. Flags. Drops it off. Far side. That's his running back, who will be wrapped up immediately. Sort out the penalties. A couple of flags flying at the same time. Might be against the Argos.
Get the official word, but the Argos are being backed up.
Fighting an uphill battle tonight. Penalties are not going to help you.
Holding, Toronto, number 61. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
All right, that's Brandon Kemp. 6'7" left tackle.
You can see the takedown. Holding was a gentle description of what went on.
It was something, wasn't it? So a 1st and 20 for Daggy. 3 options, wide side left. Running back will flare out to the flat, drops it out there, gets a lot of these yards back just inside the 30. Brissett goes up and gets it and hangs on.
A nice touch here by Daggy. Again, there's no question that the young man can throw the ball. Still learning his way through CFL defenses, and no doubt a tough situation for him. Again, a relatively young quarterback without the support of a very strong ground game.
17 yards to Brissett. They just need 3 more. Another flag as they lunge ahead. Would have been enough for a 1st down, but see what this penalty is.
Like we had some early movement from that Roughrider D-line.
Offside, Saskatchewan, number 96. Penalties declined. 1st down, Toronto.
Looked like it was number 92, Caleb Sanders.
The officials have trouble reading the numbers on these jerseys as well.
Once again, no comment. Now, with that being said, they're down on the field. You can read these jerseys down there. Come on. So a 1st and 10 from the Toronto 35. Quick hitter. Vitale's got it. Nowhere to go, and then he's absolutely crushed at the end of the play by Redwine, making his first start in the Canadian Football League.
Vitale, as he's coming off the first would-be tackle, finds himself exposed. Gets a little taste of red wine on this Friday night.
Second and 10. Riders are just in for. Daggy has some time, gets it away, and another devastating blow, this time from Thurman, making Unger pay the price over the middle.
So you're seeing some flashes from this Toronto Argonaut offense, but obviously the struggles of getting themselves into these long yardage situations, primarily because of penalties. You know, when we saw last week, the Riders didn't necessarily play their best game, but Ottawa made so many mistakes. It was tough to overcome, and you're getting a little bit of the same from the Toronto Argonauts here. You can't make too many errors against a good football team.
Alford takes this just inside the 15. Quick burst out to about the 25 before he steps out of bounds. And that will do it for the 1st quarter. The Riders on top, 6-4 over the Argos.
Just like yesterday. Knees and pray. We don't get through the game.
Welcome back to Friday Night Football from Mosaic in Regina. It's the Riders leading 6-4, but the Argos, you know, hanging around here a little bit, but they cannot shoot themselves in the foot here, can they?
Yeah, and this is it. The thing that stands out when you look at those stats is the penalties, as we talked about at the end of that 1st quarter. They're putting themselves in a hole, and against a very good Saskatchewan defense, you can't afford to do that. You can't afford to find yourself in the 2nd and long every time out, and particularly to put a young quarterback in Jared Daggy in that situation.
Done an okay job. He picked up 17 in that 1st and 20 situation, but once again, had a couple of 1st downs wiped off the board due to penalties in that 1st quarter as well. The Riders will now have the wind at their back after going into it in the 1st quarter of the game. A.J. Alette will stand in behind Trevor Harris. Harris, a couple of quick steps, far side, drops it in there. And it's back in the hands of Emelis, his 2nd catch of the ball game.
Yeah, good protection here. Nice toss from Trevor Harris here as the Riders now suddenly find themselves with the wind at their backs.
We got a fake 61, fake wide pass, W slant, alert 61 kite, Monday ready.
16 more to Emelis. He's got over 65 on 2 catches. Toronto will bring 5 this time. Harris, near side, wide open. Schaefer Baker, and he takes it down inside the 50. That's his first touch of the game, his second game since returning from a 13-game absence.
Well, you'll see Trevor Harris kind of look off the D here. You're going to see the Saskatchewan Roughriders get a receiver swinging out and hanging low. That causes the defenders to come forward and opens up space in behind where he's able to drop it into Schaefer Baker. As here you see Tommy Neal drifts out. That holds the corner down low, creating a little bit of space behind him.
Harris with 102 yards in his first 5 completions of the game. There's the 6-1, this time Keyshawn Johnson. And he's wrapped up and held on to. Aaron Casey makes the tackle after a 3-yard pickup.
Well, we've talked about the Saskatchewan Roughriders receiving core, how they've had people in and out of the lineup. Keyshawn Johnson, their leading receiver, who's been tremendous this season, has been sort of the fixture. So see him grab his leg right away on this one.
Came off the field. He actually leads the league in second down receptions with 39. He won't be out there this time. Harris, quick hitter over the middle. And that'll be enough for a first down. D'Arcangelo with the tackle. Schaefer Baker, his second catch on the drive.
Well, Schaefer Baker in his second game back after missing 13 due to injury. Went down in the Riders season opener.
Hey, regular.
Where he takes over his ex-receiver position, working out of the slot. Keyshawn Johnson moved out to W, wide receiver spot, but didn't miss a beat again last week. Still the Riders' leading receiver in that ballgame.
A.J. Ouellette, 3 touches so far in this game, gets one here. Pushes it down to the 35. A.J. Ouellette so far tonight has moved into first in the race among rushing leaders. Mills and Butler right there with him.
Yeah, and as you can see by those numbers, this is going to be a great race right down to the wire. As many as 6 CFL running backs currently on pace to go over 1,000 this season.
It's also been a great year for quarterbacks. All-time completion percentage high, all-time quarterback rating high across the league right now. Harris drops another one in there. This time he gets Duncan Busby involved. And Harris has now found 6 different receivers in the first half.
Yeah, and it just goes along with that theme of that receiving core. Duncan Busby, the lead receiver here on the outside. Just that speed out, trying to push up toward that first down marker. But Saskatchewan dressed 9 veteran receivers for this game tonight, and that's with Sean Bain, 1,700 yards over the last 2 years, and Dante Myers, a 1,000-yard receiver this year, out of the lineup.
They're a little deep at the position, aren't they?
Crazy.
Lothar back in the lineup, sneaks one through the upright. With the wind at his back, he gets it done from 37. And the Riders' lead grows by 3. Herslow, heck of a season for Toronto. A couple of catches for 20 yards already in this one as well. Team high 20 yards so far in this one for Herslow, but how about the stretch that this guy put together in the middle of the season? 9 touchdowns over a 6-game stretch.
Yeah, remarkable pace, and that was on 30 catches. And now, of course, by comparison, Herslow, he's in a slump. His last 14 catches the last 2 games, he has gone without a touchdown. So Herslow is due.
They'll hand it off this time. Spencer Brown. That's their best carry of the game. Not even close either. That goes for 11 and a first down.
Argos able to get around the edge here. Take a look. Felix Garon-Gauthier, the fullback, seals the edge. They get the pullers out in front. Big Dylan Giffen, number 64, leading the way for Brown.
Fresh set of downs from the Toronto 51. Back to Brown again. A good burst. Finds some room on the outside. And that is close to another first down. Might be spotted just short. Back-to-back runs, but the Argos just haven't done that much all season.
And again, take a note, Brown bouncing this one around to the outside. See some misdirection up front. It's like linebacker A.J. Allen just got caught in the gap there. But again, bear in mind the Argos working against the wind now, so they want to use the run game, not just because it's hard to throw against the wind, but also to try and slow things down and limit the amount of time that Trevor Harris has the ball with the wind at his back.
2nd and inches. They're going to throw it over the middle, and it falls incomplete. Duggan was in the game in a short yardage situation. And now they'll go 3rd and inches, 2nd down, trying to sneak something in there.
Yeah, Max Duggan, the former Texas Christian University star, led them to a national championship appearance. Getting an opportunity to play here, 3rd on the depth chart with Arbuckle out.
Colcoa covered on that one. Duggan this time needing just inches. Pushes it ahead. Should be enough. Needed the 49. Comes in and does his job, picks up the first down with 9 minutes remaining in the half.
Yeah, you'll see him slide to the left here. Sees a little bit of movement, just ducks his head in there to pick up the required yardage.
Got folded up pretty good by C.J. Rivas, A.J. Allen. That is Giffen, who's down. And we will step away as they take a look at their offensive linemen. The Argos offense remains on the field, down by 5. NFL delivers an exciting international game in London between the Broncos and the Jets. Get you all the action on Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 a.m. Pacific on TSN+. Here's a look at 28-year-old Dylan Giffen walking off the field. Their backup offensive lineman.
Yeah, he's missed significant time this season. The Argos have played with a lot of inexperienced O-linemen at times.
Back on the ground with Brown. Short pickup this time. It's like just a couple of yards.
Yeah, Argos looking to do a little bit of ground and pound here. They've had some success in this possession with Spencer Brown. But the limited production in the run game has been a consistent storyline through this 2025 season for the Toronto Argonauts.
Former Argo running back A.J. led a 1,000-yard season in the books for the Riders. 2nd and 8 for Daggy. Looking to throw here. Has his running back. A little bit low. Would have been covered anyway. And that'll bring up 3rd down.
Daggy just unable to get it out there with Spencer Brown working toward the sideline. Though we saw Liram Hairulahu with yet another 50-yard field goal in the first quarter. Won't work in this direction.
Yeah, this would be about 56 into a pretty big wind. So instead, it'll be Haggerty to kick it away. Alford waits on his own 10.
See if he tries to drive this and get it on the ground.
Get it away. Haggerty goes down and a flag does fly. Bounces. Alford's on it. Another flag at the end there. But the kicker took some contact after he let it go. Now he's talking trash.
As a punter, you have limited opportunities to do that, so to make the most of the moment.
Well, the Argos hurt themselves with some penalties in the first quarter, but this one could be a big one for them, going the other way. Was he guided in there? Was he pushed in there? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the argument. And see Felix got on Gauthier, the personal protector back there. You know, I mean, to me, he's still pushing out, not so much back into the on-rushing rider player, Mitch Picton.
Pretty good sell job by Haggerty as well. I give him bonus points for that effort.
Yeah, there was a no yards flag at the other end of this play.
So that's what they're explaining to Dinwiddie right now.
Yeah, presenting the options.
Justin McInnes trying to sort this one out for us. It looks like it's going to be pushed back 5 yards. And the Argos will have to kick it away from a little bit deeper.
2 fouls on the previous play. Contacting the kicker, Saskatchewan, number 81. No yards, Toronto, number 6. We'll replay 3rd down.
So again, contacting the kicker, not roughing the kicker. The important distinction there in terms of the way the penalties balance out.
Well, Haggerty will do it again. Midway through the second quarter. No contact this time. He gets it away. Alford will take it just outside the 15, 36-yard kick. And he runs into a wall on the far side of the field. Beautiful Friday night in October on the prairies. Riders offense in the huddle, but no Keyshawn Johnson. For more on that, let's send it down to Britt Dorn.
Yeah, after his injury, he was taken to the sidelines, and on the bench, he was evaluated by a trainer on his right knee. They then took him into the tent for further evaluation, and eventually he ended up leaving the game and is in the locker room right now getting looked at by trainers. As you guys know, a very key piece of this offense, arguably probably the best receiver for this group. But the good news is when he was walking out the field, there wasn't any noticeable limp, and he was able to take himself to that locker room.
Something to monitor down the stretch and, of course, into the playoffs. Over 1,150 yards for Keyshawn Johnson this year. Harris throwing down the field. There's a flag as he drops it in neatly near sideline. Robustelli's got it. We'll have to see what this penalty is, but Robustelli's been a big play guy. This one goes for 44.
Illegal contact, Toronto, number 14. Penalties decline. First down, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, the penalties decline. Here you'll see Robustelli, little stem to the inside, and then that release back out to the corner. Gets Hood grabbing, trying to slow him down. Perfect placement on the ball from Trevor Harris.
Working against Alante Hood, playing in just his 4th game of the season out of Peru State College. Now Harris will flip it ahead underneath. And now with Johnson banged up and Myers not able to go this week, Trevor Harris down 2 more weapons. You said they dressed so many receivers here, and everybody stepped up. Even these 2 guys stepped up earlier in the year when they lost Schaefer Baker.
Yeah,
they lost Emilus.
Yeah, out for a stretch as well. But yeah, a couple of guys that stepped into the lineup last season. Second-year guys, Johnson and Myers, and emerging as a pair of 1,000-yard receivers here in 2025.
Harris, near side. That is held on to. Arcangelo lowers a blow on A.J. Ouellette, but that'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, Harris settling for the check down to his running back. Out in the flat that time. Again, Isaac Darkangelo in the lineup at middle linebacker for Wynton McManus this week, and presumably for the remainder of this season.
Second 37-yard attempt of the game for Lawther. This one is up, and he's 2 for 2 to start the game.
We have enough WestJet points to cover our entire flight to Paris.
Mamma mia.
That's Italian.
Well, good start tonight for Brett Lawther. Was not in the lineup last week, and it's been a tough year so far. This is coming into tonight just under 69%, well off where those leaders are at right now.
Yeah, and this has been a big story for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Campbell Fair, out of the University of Ottawa, former Calgary draft pick, bounced around a little bit the last couple of years. Got an audition last week. Things didn't go so well, so Lawther back in the lineup tonight. As you said, off to a good start.
They did sign an American kicker during the week, bringing in Hughes. But it's back to Lawther in this one. Daggy with a quick completion there.
Daggy looking to get it out quickly here. Takes a shot. Taken down hard. It looked like, I believe it was Sanders. But officials and spotters not loving the way that Daggy hit the turf there.
Injury spotter is removing Toronto number 7 from the game.
So it's going to be Tucker Horn. Just take a look at the landing. Head snapping back there. So definitely the right decision for the spotters to at least give Jarrett Daggy an opportunity to be evaluated further here.
So Tucker Horn into the game, has not attempted a pass yet this season. 2nd and 2. They'll hand it off, and it goes nowhere. Back to the line of scrimmage. No further. And that'll bring Haggerty back out here on a 3rd and 2. 3rd 2 and out of the game for the visitors.
Well, limited experience for the Argonauts at quarterback. Obviously, Chad Kelly has been out all season. Nick Arbuckle now with a shoulder injury, down for the year. Leaving Daggy as the most experienced quarterback on their roster.
Alford will watch this. It bounces, takes it on 2 hops, 43-yard kick, and he is wrapped up immediately. Here's Mario Alford earlier in the year for the Riders against the Argos.
Yeah, after the Argos had battled all the way back in this game against Saskatchewan. At the end of the game, Mario Alford turns it all back in the Riders' favor with that kick return touchdown.
That is his only return touchdown of the season, 11 in his career.
Yeah, Super Mario's been in and out of the lineup with injuries throughout this season.
Sean Bain handling return duties the last couple of weeks. Harris on the run to his right. There's a flag as he dumps it off to his running back, who loses his helmet. Working there against Aaron Casey. And a good look at the flow of A.J. Ouellette. That'll take us to 3 minutes here at Mosaic. A low-scoring affair between the Argos and the Riders. The Saskatchewan looks to secure first place. The West Final at home.
Coming up at the half, we're going to discuss what happened to the Argonauts this season. We'll look ahead to some huge games tomorrow. And by the way, a shout out to Milt Siegel, who decorated this entire set by himself.
Not bad of a job, Milton.
He's been here all day. Milt, well done. Well done.
Got the green thumb, eh? Good job. Alrighty, thank you.
I have to say, impressive effort from Milt. Quick completion here. Tommy Neal. See if the Riders can move the ball here, put some more points up with the wind at their back. Well, that one's swirling around a bit, but mostly at their back.
Well, under circumstances, the Toronto Argonauts doing a decent job keeping this close and trying to take advantage of a long field for the Riders here.
Second and 10 for Harris. Argos send 5. They might have been early. Harris gets it away, almost taken away. Trying to find Tommy Neal. Willie Drew defending. There's another flank in the secondary here as well. We're going to have two things to sort through.
Yeah, it did look like the Argos at least twitched a little bit at the line of scrimmage just before those flags came up.
It did, right? I wasn't crazy. I wasn't seeing things. I thought they moved. But then a flag in the secondary as well.
Yeah, we'll see if the officials felt that Drew was perhaps in a little early.
There are 2 fouls on the previous play. Offside, Toronto. That penalty is declined. Pass interference, Toronto, number 39. Spot of the foul, automatic first down.
So that is Willie Drew out of Virginia State. Got there a tad early.
Yeah, so working against the inside receiver here. And you saw Drew, just a flash of that pink glove wrapping around the waist just as the receiver kneeled, made his break to the inside.
Ball will be placed at the 36. Harris is 12 of 15 for 180 yards and a touchdown in the first half. Gives it to A.J. Ouellette. A.J. pushes it ahead. They'll hang on to him, but he pushes out for 6 yards on first down.
A.J. Ouellette. A terrific season for the Riders this year. One of the big keys for him, playing a little bit lighter. I think that has also contributed to him being able to stay healthy to this point in the season.
18 carries for 53 yards and a touchdown last week for Ouellette. Harris gets this one away. Down the field, lays it out there, and is it held on to? Emilus pointing, saying, I had it. And they'll say, we agree with you. That's a catch, 24 yards.
Yeah, Emilus, the middle receiver. There, Brandon Dozier in coverage, playing from the inside. Nice ball placement. Good concentration from Emilus.
93 yards in the first half for Emilus. He must have done a spectacular job getting a foot down on this last one. Let's give you another look.
He's pushed.
This is a new rule where when the toe goes down, if the rest of the foot comes down out of bounds, which it looks like it did here, as long as the toe hit inbounds first, it's going to be a catch. Second and 7 for Harris. They've stalled in this area in the last few drives. Toronto's going to bring a bit of heat. Gets picked up. Back to Emelis again, but it will not be enough for a first down, and that'll be third down for the Riders.
Well, Sam Emelis having himself a big night, part of that great 2023 CFL draft class.
Well, they're 2 of 2, a couple from 37. This one will be from 44, just inside the right hash, to go 3 for 3 in the first half. He's up, and he's got it again. Lawler is dialed in at home here on a Friday night. The Riders defense has been lowering the boom a few times for more of that physicality. Back down to Luke Wilson.
Yeah, Dustin, when you hear the term playing downhill, that's exactly what I would describe the Riders defense. They look ferocious, they look intense, and there's a crazy amount of effort. And some of these plays really highlighted here. If you look here at Benny Sapp, this is unbelievable. So he understands what's going on, boom, triggers, runs right down the V of Herschel's neck, bullies him to the ground, and then Red Wine comes flying in and cleans it up. Here's Thurman just laying the boom later on that drive. And then you get here, we get bullied up front in Toronto. You get a great hit on the quarterback. And once again, Jameer Thurman coming downhill. But look at the effort, the rally. Everyone's around the tackle. This defense is humming right now, and that's why the Argos only have 4 points.
Hey, first in points allowed, first in yards allowed, first in rush yards allowed. That's how you do it, isn't it, Luke?
It is. And again, you love to see this right here. When there's one Argo and there's numerous Rough Rider players just rallying to the ball. And I'm sitting behind the bench right now, Dustin. I'll tell you, they're in it. They are really in it right now. It's a very good atmosphere for this defense.
Well, they're buzzing. They know what's on the line here tonight.
Yeah, and you know, obviously you never try and intentionally get after someone, but when you have a third-string quarterback in, and that means a fourth-string guy's coming, you want to hit him as hard as you can. And when you take hits like you're watching right now, I feel for Daggy, because this defense is, again, there's a ferociousness they're playing with right now, and it's palpable on the sideline.
It's been a long day.
Review by the replay center, we have roughing the passer, Saskatchewan, number 42, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Hey, Luke, I know you're a big proponent of establishing the run game early. Obviously, that hasn't been a big thing for the Toronto Argonauts, but do you anticipate they might need to adjust that, particularly now with Daggy headed to the sidelines again?
I do, Dwayne, but I will say the 2 big runs from the last drive, as much as I would love to give, you know, the flowers to the Argos O-line, it was a fundamental issue in Saskatchewan's defense. 2 guys in 1 gap, so it wasn't like they got bullied up front. So I don't really know if that's an option. That's part of the problem. Where unless Saskatchewan messes up, I'm not sure they can run the ball either.
I don't think you all of a sudden figure out how to run the ball in week 19.
No. But Dwayne, you are correct. That would be the best way to do this. So hopefully, if you're an Argos fan, they can figure this run game out quickly.
All right, well, Tucker Horn back in the game at quarterback. That's his first CFL pass attempt. He goes to his fullback for the completion as we get a look at Tucker Horn out of Trinity. That's a look at what he did in school. Almost 9,000 yards, 97 touchdowns, 17 interceptions.
Yeah, and obviously a small school guy. Horn is a guy who, you know, really had to earn his job in the preseason. The Toronto Argonauts decided to move on from Cameron Dukes.
Another completion, this time into the hands of Brissett. And that'll be a first down for Toronto. Those have been tough to find so far in this one. We heard the discussion coming up at half. What has gone wrong with the Argos this season? Kate and the guys will have that conversation. Probably need more than a halftime, I would think. Horn down the field again. Polk's got it. Spectacular stuff. Goes up, spins around. That's his first catch of the ball game. Probably not a bad idea to get it to this guy.
Yeah, no question. Mackay Polk at absent from the Argos lineup the first portion of this season as he was pursuing some NFL options. But a terrific rookie year in 2024. Hottest receiver in the league down the stretch last season.
Tucker Horn drops it off this time to his running back. Spin move goes nowhere. Brown is taken down. Thurman, A.J. Allen working on that one together. I'll bring up 2nd and 6. Boy, this will be quite the story for Horn coming into the game and leading a touchdown drive late in the half on the road at Mosaic. 2nd and 5 is what he faces right here. 2 options to his left. Down towards the end zone. Nobody home. It falls incomplete. Polk was around the area. And that'll be a 3rd down and a field goal attempt for Haralahu.
Yeah, it looked like signals got crossed here a little bit between Horn and the intended target. Mackay Polk, his inside receiver to that boundary side. Gets in behind the linebacker, and like he just took it a little flatter than the quarterback anticipated. Now, Horn's a guy we expected with the Argos out of the playoff picture to see him start one of their final few games, as Coach Ryan Dinwiddie wanted to get a little extended live look at the young QB. So we may just be getting that a little bit earlier with the injury to Daggy.
53rd field goal of the year for Haralahu. And that cuts the lead to 8 here at Mosaic with 9 seconds remaining in the ball game. Riders have had to settle for 3 field goals after Trevor Harris led a touchdown drive to start the game. Last week, the Riders won a game without a kicking point, which was the first time in franchise history that had ever happened.
And it wasn't for lack of effort. A couple of missed extra points last week.
Just dumps it off. Up to the 45, into the hands of Robustelli with 2 seconds on the clock. Trevor Harris, pretty efficient first half, as he has been most of the season. 72.7% on the year. First 4,000-yard season with the Riders. And he's got 215 here in the half as he takes a knee, and his team hoping to wrap up first in the West with a win tonight. We'll head to the room with a 15-7 lead. Let's take a look at the first half for Robustelli, which really sort of fits with the story this year for the Riders. An opportunity for one of his receivers, and he steps up.
Yeah, making the most of it again, Robustelli. Some big games under his belt this season, getting an opportunity to get back in the lineup this week with Dante Myers going down and Robustelli making the most of it. First touchdown of the game for the Riders. Very productive, and he now finds himself on the sidelines with our Britt Dort.
Joe, you return to the lineup, and you come out here and you only got to get a touchdown in the first half. Just how much fun are you having making an impact?
I mean, the touchdown was fun, but I got to come down with that 2-point conversion, so it was bittersweet, killed the moment, but still having a great time out here right now.
Well, you're 2 quarters away from securing first place in the West Division. Can you just speak to the motivation level of this group right now?
Yeah, it means everything. To have that first round bye going in the playoffs, it's everything. We feel like we deserved it, and we just got to keep working towards it and get the job done.
Thanks so much.
Of course, appreciate you.
All right, Kate, we'll send it off to you in the panel.
All right, Britt, we all know this panel of Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, and Milt Stiegel. By the way, a lot of people wondering why Joe Robustelli was in tonight over Bain, and I'll tell you this. I mean, I get it. The connection with him and Trevor Harris, though, it's been fantastic, and he's looked great in this first half of football. But we digress and now talk about the Toronto Argonauts and what happened this season. We were discussing it here on the panel, and look, you could point to the fact that Chad Kelly did not play a snap of football. Not one down of football was played by their starting quarterback. But Nick Arbuckle, he was great. He was really great at times this season, so you can't really look then. Before the season began, we looked at the defense, and it was decimated this time. And we said, how are they going to fix these holes? How are they going to clean this up? And there were just so many problems that I think that ultimately led to their demise.
Yeah, absolutely, Kate. They had too many changes, and a lot of changes that they just couldn't overcome. You started the fact that you start the season off with your defensive leader in Win McManus, who was not present, and he was injured. And so you start with that, and then you look at a guy like Flory Malade, who was not present as well. That was a huge hit to that defense. I know. I always talk
Shocker, you brought up Flo.
Your best friend,
on the defense with him. I know how impactful he is.
It's a fact.
Look at this Calgary defense without him right now.
We agree. We agree.
So without having a guy like that, coming off of a Grey Cup winning season like that, it doesn't matter. It is tough to overcome, and obviously you can see how it affected this team.
Yeah, I mean, you're averaging or giving up, over 30 points a game? When your defense is playing like that, their run game is non-existent. I mean, they're at the bottom of the league in run game, too. So those two things, and we look at that's been the most surprising to me, even with the changes, Enoch. I know you talk about the changes, and you're not wrong. That's Enoch, by the way. You're not wrong. It's the fact that, because every team has changes, but the fact that we thought that Chad Kelly not being there was going to be I thought that would be the biggest issue.
Yeah.
It actually has not been, because to your point, Nick's been so good, but their run game non-existent. Their defense, although there's changes, a lot of teams in this league, there's a ton of change. So that's the biggest surprise for me, is that quarterback wasn't even the issue. Those other two, run game and defense, were that bad.
Dean Carey not being in a lineup.
Agreed, and they moved on. They thought they could.
And I think what happened was they moved on from players in the past, and it worked out for them. I mean, last year, they were in the Grey Cup, and all the players that they let go, they didn't sign back, and it worked out for them. And I think they thought the same thing was going to happen this year. You know, you traded away Allen to BC. You let Amos go. You didn't have a running game. You let some other guys go, and they felt, well, we did in the past. We'll be okay. But that wasn't the case this year. So they have to reevaluate what they have there. I think Ryan Dinwiddie, and everyone knows this, he's still a great coach. I mean, when you go to win two Grey Cups in your first 4 years, you're a great coach. So they still have the great foundation there, but they just have to reevaluate what they want to do at quarterback. I still think Chad Kelly is their guy, but they also saw that Nick Arbuckle get done. You try to trade him away for some assets. So they got a good foundation there, but they definitely have to make some changes, because they can't continue with the same individuals they have and think they're going to get different results next year.
And I completely agree. I mean, year after year, we saw them do this. They lost guys. It was no big deal. They were able to plug these holes, but maybe just got a little too confident this year, and ultimately missing the postseason after winning the Grey Cup. This game currently 15-7 after the break. We talk more about the West.
Got me flexing a brand new fix. Smelling so good like a brand new whip. Step for too long, better up that tip. You think you had enough, baby? One more sip. One more sip, yeah, one more sip. Throw that back, yeah, baby, flip that switch. One more sip, yeah, one more sip. 'Cause I become that. It's that kind of night. Walk right past the light. Everybody hit that to the knees. Big boom in the room, can't handle us.
Thanksgiving weekend continues tomorrow, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. It is the Calgary Stampeders and the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And then a little later on at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, it all wraps up with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in Edmonton to take on the Elks. The Elks still holding on to hope. This is a fascinating day of football, to say the least. So if Calgary wins and if Winnipeg wins, that means that Edmonton is eliminated. So we have Calgary and Winnipeg moving on into the postseason. Ches, in your mind, does it play out this way tomorrow?
We have two teams. I don't know how it plays out tomorrow. I mean, that's yet to be determined. But I look at these two teams. They're both teams, Calgary coming off a loss, Winnipeg coming off a bye. What we thought early on in the season, the quarter way through the season, the teams we thought were dominant, the Sask, the Calgary, it's not that way. This West right now, if you ask me to pick, the top 3 teams in the West, that changes for me every single week. And I think I'm really under the wait and see pretense tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. These teams, one week they look dominant, next week they're not. I don't know what to see, but I look forward to seeing it tomorrow. But this West is wide open.
For me, I'm really looking at these Calgary Stampeders. I'm really looking to see what direction they're going to go in. I mean, this is 4 losses in a row. 4 or 5 weeks ago, we were saying, hey, this is the team, the favorite to win the Grey Cup. VA is the favorite to be the MOP, and now they're in a position where they're trying to seal a spot to make the playoffs. Just think what would happen if they're not in the playoffs and Edmonton makes the playoffs. Just think about that, and that's still a possibility. That can happen. It's slim, but it can still happen. So I'm looking at these Calgary Stampeders to see how they come out, because even if they're in the playoffs, they don't want to go in limping. They want to go in with some momentum. If they go in losing 5 or 6 games in a row, whatever it may be, that's not a good look for these Stampeders.
Yeah, that's the team for me that I'm watching, the Edmonton Elks. I mean, they are arguably probably the hottest team in the CFL right now, maybe just besides the BC Lions. This team is the team that you got to watch out for, because if they crack a spot into the playoffs, man, they are going to be dangerous, because how do you hold on to Rankin? How do you keep that guy in the backfield? And you got Cody Fajardo, who's just figuring ways to get wins. So this is the team that I really want to see. And that defense, J.C. Sherrod has that defense playing extremely well as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do.
Could you imagine if Edmonton squeaks in there and Calgary doesn't make it? By the way, it is the lights out game at Mosaic. We need to go to one of these. Panel road trip.
Bring us go.
Get up off of that thing and dance to do better. Off of that thing and dance to sing it now. Get up off of that thing and dance to better. Get up off of that thing. Try to release that pressure. Get up off of that thing and dance to do better. Get up off of that thing and shake the sing it now. Get up off of that thing and shake the loop, do better. Get up off of that thing and try to release that pressure.
The Riders at home with a 15-7 lead over the Argos. Saskatchewan trying to wrap up first in the West. Argos trying to play spoiler tonight. Isaac D'Arcangelo stands by with Britt Dorton.
Well, Isaac, you came into the lineup in place of Whit McManus, who's out with injury right now at middle linebacker. How did you feel in that first half?
No, for sure it was awesome. You know, any chance you get out here is a blessing, and it's just, a lot of people wish they could play the game still. So just us being able to have this another chance tonight has been awesome.
Well, we know injuries have plagued that quarterback position again here tonight. How much does the defense wear that, though, when they know they have to help out the offense?
Yeah, no, for sure. We know we got to take care of business, and we got to keep the 7s off the scoreboard and hopefully hold them to 3s or even 0s. So, we know we got to do our part, and we got to, count on the offense as well.
Thanks so much, Isaac.
Awesome. Thank you.
Now, defense doing their part would be big. They'll need something offensively as well from Ryan Dinwiddie's squad. They will have the ball to start. The Riders elected to take the wind at their back in the fourth quarter, and it is gusty here tonight. It is breezy here at Mosaic.
Yeah, the wind conditions certainly a factor in terms of not just the play we're seeing on the field, but also obviously coaching decisions.
High kick. Grant takes it at the 30. Finds a little bit of space, but steps out of bounds before he gets to the 50. And we will get a look at Jared Daggy here in the second half. Here's what he did in the first half.
Yeah, ups and downs. Jake Herslow, the favorite target, was able to find Dijon Brissett a couple of times there as well. But I think the big story of the first half for Daggy, a couple of big hits late in that second quarter. And he left the field on both occasions. So you got to believe that from a safety point of view, he's on a very short leash here.
8 of 11, 76 yards for Daggy. Team down 8 as we start the third quarter. Daggy bouncing around, runs out of room, and is taken down by the Saskatchewan defense. A.J. Allen with his 4th sack of the campaign.
Yeah, just a terrific breakout year for A.J. Allen, starting weak side linebacker for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, University of Guelph product. A.J. now in his 4th year, originally a 4th-round pick in 2020. He's telling us how tough it was trying to crack the roster in his draft year coming out of COVID.
Daggy second and long. Dumps it off to his running back. Can Brown make something work? He cannot. Back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a little bit further. This time it was Antoine Brooks Jr. who gets there. And the 4th 2-and-out game for Toronto.
Yeah, Brooks looking to make the most of his opportunity in this starting lineup. We've talked a little bit about the injuries in the secondary for the Riders, and that shuffle has led to CJ Rivas moving from the nickel or Sam linebacker spot back to safety. Brooks getting an opportunity now to play that nickel position.
Haggerty forced into duty early here in the half. Hangs one way up there. Alford waits, takes it at the 10, a 53-yard kick. Trying to find some room. He will not. Runs all the way across the field for a return of about 2 yards. Trevor Harris, first half, 215 yards. Had this touchdown drive early on the big play to Emelis.
Yeah, got things started quickly. Hit Sam Emelis on the crosser for 50-plus yards, and then Joe Robustelli for the touchdown. Pushing it down the field and getting all of his receivers involved. That's one of the things I think stood out about the opening 30 minutes of this ball game from a Saskatchewan point of view.
7 different players with a reception from Harris. One of them, Keyshawn Johnson, has officially been ruled out tonight for the Riders. So no Dante Myers coming into this game.
Saskatchewan is challenging the previous play for no yards.
And
play
now
will be reviewed.
Keyshawn Johnson will not come back. And we're going to take a look at this challenge for no yards.
Yeah, it was close. Jonathan Edward, the first man down the field for the Toronto Argonauts, was trying to slow up, but I know the reaction of the Rider faithful here. You see Edward leading the coverage down, and he tries to kind of slow up, but he's definitely within 5. So you sort of see the receiver catching the ball right on the 10-yard line, Alford.
Crowd here did not like that wasn't called.
No,
round of boos.
Yeah, they waited to see if Alford was going to be able to break the return, and when he didn't, they began lobbying for the penalty. You know, and I know there's obviously sort of lateral distance on the field there that is, you know, it's a 5-yard radius, not just sort of 5 yards north-south.
I think he was inside the radius, though, wasn't he?
I would think so.
I believe it's going to be a no yards call after the challenge from Corey Mace. Better field position for Trevor Harris. And this drive to start the third quarter. All right, here we go. We're going to get the call right now.
After review by the replay center, we have no yards. Toronto, number 41. It's 15-yard penalty. First down, Saskatchewan.
Mace with his 4th successful challenge of this season.
Just 3 incompletions in that first half for Trevor Harris, coming off that game last week when he only had 6. He went 27 of 33 for 341 and a touchdown. And once again, just to quickly reset it, Keyshawn Johnson will not return in this game for the Riders. A.J. Ouellette just 6 carries in the first half. They'll give him the ball here to start this one. And does it pop out? The Argos are saying they're on this. And the officials are going to have to sort through. Looks like they've already ruled it a second down. A.J. Ouellette hanging on for dear life at the bottom of the pile. Aaron Casey arguing and trying to yank it away on top.
Pretty good wrestling match going on down there. See that ball clearly punched out. How Ouellette is the guy who ends up with it. Somewhat remarkable when you see how far away from him the ball gets knocked initially.
It was Casey who punched it out. And he had a good crack at it.
Yeah, Logan Furland, the first rider to get hands on it. But Ouellette able to reach over and get his mitts in there as well in the wrestling match with Aaron Casey.
Casey has had a nice season. 5 sacks, tackle for a loss as well, and now a fumble recovery.
We have a fumble recovered by Toronto. First down, Toronto.
Replay center takes a look at it, says it was Casey who had it first. And a turnover on the fumble from A.J. Ouellette. Casey forces the fumble, recovers the fumble.
Aaron Casey, the man of the moment. We'll see him coming in across the field to try and make a play. Punches that ball out, and as his momentum carries him over, pulls it into his body. A.J. Ouellette tries to pull it back. Ryan Dinwiddie pleased to see his team with the recovery. First lost fumble of the year for A.J. Ouellette.
And their defense gives their offense great field position. Daggy down the field, drops it in, touchdown, quick strike Argos. Puts it in the hands of Brissett for a 30-yard strike. And Toronto back in business.
Well, that sudden change going for the big strike. You got a great view of it here. Daggy will step up in that pocket, right down the pipe. Dejon Brissett's 3rd touchdown of the season.
And they will go for 2 to try to tie this game at 15 aside. Brissett in the slot to the left of Daggy. Looks in that direction, throws in that direction. No, broken up. Sapp got a hand on it, and the Riders will remain on top.
A big break up there for Sapp to keep the Riders in the lead, but huge for the Argos to take advantage of that turnover created by their defense, gifting them a short field.
The Argos came into this game 2nd in the league in points scored off of turnovers with 92.
See Brissett and taking it towards the post here. The safety is closing. It's actually Brooks, Antoine Brooks, the nickel linebacker who's playing as a deep safety on that one. Dives across, tries to get hands on that one, just a split second late. It's into the hands of Brissett for the touchdown.
Daggy had to put a little extra zip on that one to get it in there, didn't he?
Just enough.
Daggy's now 10 of 14 for 110 yards and a touchdown while dealing with a couple of big hits in the first half. Corey Mace just looks stunned. That is the what just happened look.
Yeah.
Keep it on. So I can just run by.
3rd touchdown of the year for Brissett. Alford takes it just inside the 10, finds the 30, and steps out of harm's way just inside the 40. Well, it's been a great season for Brissett. 4th among Canadians in receiving yards. 2 of these guys with 1,000.
Yeah, we talk all the time about the development at the skill positions by Canadian players. You know, Justin McInnes, originally a 1st-round pick of the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Nice first group, man.
Had his breakout in BC.
Trevor Harris starts on his own 38. Right back to A.J. Ouellette, finds a hole, spins ahead, 1st down, and that's how you get a little bit of redemption after the fumble. A 15-yard 1st down scamper. Oh, it's actually Bertrand Houdon who's in the game.
Yeah, spelling A.J. Burnett. Burnett Ouellette at the running back spot.
Rebel right. You got Hondo Monday ready.
third-year Canadian out of Delaware State.
It's his second longest run of the season for Bertrand Hudon. Back to him again. Nothing opens up this time. Jamin Pelly, among others in there with Ricky Correa. And Correa, with 10 tackles on the year coming in, wraps him up that time.
A couple of big bodies in the middle of that Argonaut defensive line. And Correa and Pelly both around that 320 mark.
Second and 9, just shy of midfield for Harris. Looks to his left, deep shot, down the field, drops it in there, far side. Hauled in, Schaefer Baker. Third catch of the game, this one for 26.
Schaefer Baker working towards that corner. Pretty good coverage on the play for Tavares McFadden. You see as the ball probably against the wind comes back towards the line of scrimmage a bit.
And now another good carry for Hudon. What a response drive here from the Riders. 10 more for the backup running back.
Yeah, we saw Bertrand Hudon early in the season filling in for A.J. Ouellette. Productive performances. He spent a little bit of time on the injured list. A valuable guy to have.
Just inside the red zone. Schaefer Baker again. This time they'll contain him, and he'll take it down inside the 15.
Well, we saw that board of the leading Canadian receivers in the league, and it's amazing when you think about some of the names that maybe have been in and out of lineups and so on this season that could easily be on that list, but it speaks to the depth of talent among Canadian receivers in the league in this particular era. You know, we mentioned guys like Schaefer Baker and Sam Emelis in this ball game. Keandre Smith, along with the Philpott twins, were part of that 2022 draft class with Emelis.
Harris towards the end zone, got it! Touchdown Riders! Tommy Neild versus his former club has his 5th major of the year.
And that was even worth suffering the takedown for his teammate Jamarcus Hardrick in celebration. Tommy Neild gets in behind the linebacker. Trevor Harris recognizing no one in behind to come up on that one, make a play on it. Delivers the strike to the former Argonaut Tommy Neild for the touchdown.
They will look for 2 more here. A.J. Ouellette back in the game here for this 2-point attempt. Harris, near side. And they will say no. Robustelli looked like his momentum carried him back out of the end zone when he caught that ball. But excellent response after a fumble that led to points. 6 plays, 72 yards, 3.5 minutes. Second passing touchdown of the game for Trevor Harris.
Well, Dustin, you mentioned big response for the Saskatchewan Roughriders after the Argos had closed the gap on them. Got the ball moving on the ground a little bit, Thomas Bertrand Hudon. And the touchdown strike, Trevor Harris to Tommy Neild. And, you know, the catch, feet were in the end zone. Ball wasn't across the line.
It never got across.
I don't think the ball ever got across the line.
I think that's what the ruling was there. Here's Grant. A little bit of friendly fire, stays on his feet. There's a flag that flies about 20 yards. And he'll take it back to the 45.
During the return, holding, Toronto, number 38. It's 10-yard penalty, first down, Toronto.
Riders, Argos 21-13. The home side leads at Mosaic Stadium.
CFL Thanksgiving weekend on TSN is brought to you in part by WestJet. WestJet, the official airline of the CFL, and where your story takes off.
Well, last time we saw the Argo offense, it made quick work of a short field. This drive, a different story. It'll start on their own 22. Daggy to his right. Quick zip on that one. Drops it in. And Ungerer will take it out beyond the 40. Riders trying to strip it away, but he's able to hang on.
Dave Ungerer coming in from the outside. Here for a quick hitter. Hooks it up, being given a little bit of a cushion on the outside there. Nice battle against that crowd of Riders for extra yards.
22 yards to Ungerer. A work from their own 44. Daggy again on the run to his right. This time he has Polk wide open. Down inside the 50 to the 45 before they track him down from behind. And 21 more, so a couple of quick ones from Daggy, and the Argos are in business.
Yeah, just play action there, holds the backers in the box so they can't widen to take away that route to Polk. Again, a nice job after the catch, high percentage, short pass. Take a little pressure off the quarterback. Let the playmakers make plays.
39 yards on 2 catches for Mackay Polk. Daggy looks to his left. There's a flag as he throws. Herschel went down to a knee to get it. Bounced back up and then was thrown back to the turf. But penalties as this ball was snapped.
Offside, Saskatchewan, number 95. It's 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Baldonado, the guilty party.
And Baldonado's a guy you'll notice on film. Quick first step guy, decent get off. He's trying to take advantage of that against the tackle, Brandon Kemp, but just got caught leading on that one.
So a comfortable 1st and 5 for Daggy. Spencer Brown stands in to his quarterback's right. Daggy looking to throw, in trouble, heaves one up, and it goes out of bounds, out of harm's way, over the head of Benny Sapp on that far sideline.
But give Daggy credit for this. Again, young quarterback, just recognizing situation, right? 1st and 5 already, you're in a pretty good spot. Don't take a loss to put yourself in 2nd and long. You're still in a good spot on 2nd down in opponent's territory. You may even be playing 3-down football if you're the Toronto Argonauts at this point. Throw it away, protect the field position. Just don't make a mistake.
3 for 12 on 2nd down so far tonight. This one, they just need to pick up 5. Can he find it? Daggy gets it away, and they've got a first down. Mittal has it, and Toronto marches on.
Kevin Mittal, 2nd-year Toronto Argonaut. He's an inside man in the 3-receiver set into the boundary. Basically just get to the sticks. Maybe a little confusion there as you see a couple guys in the same vicinity. Right.
Duggan into the game at quarterback, and that goes nowhere. Carney all over it. Won't be a sack. Up back to the line of scrimmage. Things are going pretty good there for Daggy. What do you think about that call?
Yeah, situational. I mean, we saw Duggan come into the game in a short yardage situation earlier in the ball game and stayed in for a couple of plays. I know this is a young guy they'll want to get a look at. Rather prolific career at TCU.
Daggy back in there. It's the 7th play of the drive. Has to find 9 this time. Riders will send 5. Daggy feels the heat, escapes on the run to his right. Throws it away as he was hit. And that will bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, it's a unique situation for the Toronto Argonauts, just going back to the decision to switch up quarterback given the situation, mixing up some play calling. That they're trying to win, obviously, and end this season on a high note and have that winning be as much a part of their culture as they possibly can. But that said, they're also trying to get a look at people in certain situations and get a handle on what some of their young guys can do.
Aralahu knocks one home from 38. 5-point game at Mosaic. Friday Night Football on TSN. Ryan Dinwiddie and his team down by 5, but certainly not going to roll over and go away. For more on that, let's go back down to Luke Wilson.
Dustin, you just said it. That man, we're just looking at Ryan Dinwiddie. He's got these guys playing hard. They got nothing to play for, but they're pros. They're playing for their future in this league, and they got a great coach that's got them motivated. You only score 7 at the half. You come out, and Casey forces a fumble right away. There's tenacity here. He gets on it. The boys are obviously pumped. And then Daggy comes in. Look at this tight window throw. My goodness. You talk about ball placement. Unbelievable. You just drive the field, get another field goal, and all of a sudden, it's a 5-point game. We got a game on our hands here. So, again, I think you got to tip your cap to Coach Dinwiddie because the boys went into halftime. They came out on fire.
Yeah, no question. Ryan Dinwiddie is a guy who wears his emotions on his sleeve, and that transfers to the performance he gets out of his crew on game day.
Harris, 1st and 10, hands it off to A.J. Ouellette. Straight up the middle, hangs on to this one. Let's go back down. Let's talk a little bit about this moment for Luke Wilson and his dad. Game 3
boys, you're exposing
in New York. There he is.
Yeah, there's a story here, boys.
How awesome was that, buddy?
It was unbelievable. My dad's name is Mike, and the story is that they actually wanted his father wanted to name him Mickey after Mickey Mantle, but my grandma wouldn't have it, so they settled on Mike. We are generational Yankee fans, so it was a little tough. They're playing the Jays, but it's pretty special to be able to share that moment with my dad.
That's a pretty cool moment to be there, and you're there for the one good Yankee game too.
Yeah,
so you gotta take that. Yeah,
we lucked out. We had the good Yankee game again. He was a former catcher in the Windsor area, so we got to watch a lot from behind the plate. So I'm happy that the Jays won to a degree because you love the hometown team, but it did sting, Dustin. I'm not gonna lie.
Now,
it did sting.
As you're down there cheering a Judge home run, did you not spend a little time in the Jays organization, buddy?
I did, so that made it even a little more.
No loyalty. No loyalty at all.
I did spend about a month or so in extended spring with the Jays. So.
We'll just pretend that never happened as a Yankees fan. Yeah,
I was a little embarrassed, but again, it's generational Yankee fans here.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, Jays fans got the last laugh, so I think it worked out well.
Yeah, you're born into that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, awesome moment for sure.
Yeah.
And A.J. Ouellette back into that Saskatchewan backfield.
Make no mistake, I'd be shocked if he drops another ball. I mean, that one was punched out. It was a nice play by Casey.
Yeah, no, it absolutely was. For all the workload that A.J. Ouellette has carried this year, only his 2nd fumble of the year, first lost fumble.
As sure-handed as you'll find. And now this will be pushed ahead by Jack Cohn. Talk about the workload for A.J. Ouellette. How about this? 222 carries coming into this game. That is the most by a Riders running back since Corey Sheets back in 2013. That's how important A.J. Ouellette has been. Sheets that year had 287. So he's got a ways to go there, but no shortage Tough touches for AJ Ouellette. He's got 9 today. So he's over 230 on the year.
And hoping the workload pays off the way it did for Corey Sheets in 13.
You can see it right up on the wall here at Mosaic, that 2013 banner. Ouellette this time found a little bit of space, pushes it ahead and down inside the 35. And yeah, there's got to be some flags coming here. You see some extra bodies, extracurriculars, multiple flags fly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the flags go both ways or if Ricky Correa is the only one who gets flagged here. He took down a Rider lineman at the end of the play. But felt that perhaps some liberties had been taken with him earlier. Get a look right on the right edge of your screen. I think it was Furland he was tangled up with.
That's Joe Wallace.
Yes, it is. Sorry, my mistake.
We have a 15-yard misconduct penalty against Toronto, number 95. First down, Saskatchewan.
Wallace, one of the new faces here for Toronto. Out of Sam Houston. Spent some time in the UFL in 2025. Has put the Riders back in the red zone. Those guys have looked after the ball, this area of the field so far this year. It's Ouellette this time. Takes it down inside the 15 as the Riders march towards more points.
We talked a few minutes ago just about the emotion that the Toronto Argonauts are playing with and how important that is. It's such a fine line, right? When you look at the play by Wallace a minute ago, penalties such a limiting factor for the Toronto Argonauts in the first half of this ball game, and now and helping out a Saskatchewan Roughriders team that doesn't need any help.
2nd and 6 for Harris from the Toronto 14. 3 options to his short side left, looks in that direction, throws a low ball. Receiver tried to get down to it right at around the 5. It's Tommy Neal. And they're going to say he has it.
And Neal working back towards the ball. And not sure if he got the elbows underneath, but I'm sure the Argos will be looking closely.
Fourth quarter coming up at Mosaic, and it is the Riders with a tight 5-point cushion here against the Argos. Time of possession pretty much split right now. Toronto's hanging around.
Yeah, they sure are. They've done a pretty good job taking advantage of the opportunities they were given. The problem is that they're giving too many opportunities back.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, they could be in a much different position in this football game.
Well, and the Riders just a few yards away. But Ryan Dinwiddie has challenged this. We gave you a look when we were going to break. Let's give you a couple more. It's going to be tough to really see.
Yeah, this is the one that there's a flash there, a frame or two in which it looks like the ball kind of gets between his forearms and hits the ground for a trap. The ball gets concealed there, but yeah, you could kind of see it underneath him when he rolled there.
Interesting call coming up. Let's find out what it is.
Toronto challenged the previous play for an incomplete pass. After review by the replay center, it is an incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd down, Saskatchewan.
Dinwiddie strikes with the review, and it'll be a 3rd down, and Lawther will come out to attempt another field goal.
Lawther looking to keep his perfect night going in the field goal category.
He He's hit 3 so far tonight. Deeper than this one. Wind will be at his back here too. This one's just from 22 yards. And he makes no mistake, 4 for 4 on the night for Brett Lawther. Let's send it back down to Britt Dork.
Well, guys, we know there's been a ton of chatter about Brett Lawther this year and his kicking percentage. Now, last week he didn't play. He's been injured. He has been dealing with a leg injury. Lawther did say, I'm not using that as an excuse, so this season. They did put Campbell Farron. Things did not go very well. This week, they also signed another kicker. They let all 3 of them kick at practice this week. Now, Corey Mace ultimately decided to put Lawther back in the lineup. He said, I feel like I gave our team the best chance with the lineup this week with who I picked. I'm going to evaluate week to week. Now, as somebody who's absolutely battling the wind with her hair down here, I will say kickers tonight, good for them for making what they're making out there.
Yeah, I barely even noticed it, Britt. Your hair looked great. Pretty epic turtleneck you're rolling, though. Very tall on the far side. Her neck right now. It's like, help me, help me. So warm down there. Fourth quarter underway. You know, the Argos defense has held the Riders to field goals. Lawther's had 4 of them so far. Like, that's how it's not like their offense is keeping them in this game. Yeah. Their defense is allowing them to hang around here.
Yeah, you heard Isaac D'Arcangelo talk to Britt about that at halftime. Defense trying to do their part to give the Owen a chance to get back in this thing or stay in this thing.
2nd and 1. Daggy. Brown to his right. Daggy kept it, now throws it, finds Brown anyway at midfield. A.J. Allen with the tackle. But Daggy and Brown will move the chains.
Yeah, I wasn't sure he wanted to go that way with it earlier as Brown slips out to the left, but under siege a little bit in that pocket. Daggy does a good job keeping his eyes downfield and understanding where his outlet is. That'll move the sticks.
Riders are perfect this season when they lead after 3 quarters, 10-0. Daggy, pump fake, didn't like what he saw. Then he finds Ungerer on the far sideline, and another first down for Toronto.
Again, nice execution, high percentage. And Daggy not trying to do too much. It's the protection he needs here. Sees Ungerer alone along that sideline. Marcus Sales was creeping in a little bit towards the slot.
3rd catch of the game for Ungerer. He's got 42 yards. 1st and 10 from the 40. Daggy lays it out to Polk. Allen will wrap him up. Thurman there to help. 3rd catch of the game for Polk.
Yeah, Polk coming back to the football on that one. Get away from the defender. Big 2nd down here for the Argos as they try to at least reduce this 1 possession lead.
Daggy, deep drop, gets it away as he's hit, laying out there and going and taking it away. Riders defense, they're going to say no catch. It was Sheldrick Redwine, didn't get there in time, and it'll be 3rd down for Toronto. Rough night for Daggy continues. Looks like he took a pretty good blow after the throw.
Yeah, and you'll see just a couple defenders closing. He can't step into the throw. The pressure obviously contributing to the inaccuracy. You can see that one goes through the arms of Redwine. Little concerned as it looked like Daggy again grabbed his helmet.
Took another one on the back of the head, didn't he? Ugh. 2nd time that's happened, and they took a hit to the head earlier. Haralahu knocks another one through. Argos for NCAA college football action as Florida goes against Texas A&M. Tune in tomorrow, 7 a.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN. Argos defense forced a fumble earlier. And they create another turnover here against Trevor Harris. Harris throwing. And that'll be pushed ahead for a Riders first down. 11 yards back to Robustelli.
And it's hard not to marvel at the fact that Robustelli, top of your screen here, the outside receiver. This is a guy who quit football because he was too small. And you see the size of him now. And a big target, strong runner, certainly not a guy who shies away from contact. But as a kid, stepped away from football for a number of years because he was undersized.
Harris pump fake, now lays one out there down the far sideline, and it is broken up. Benji Franklin there working against Robustelli. Comes away with the knockdown.
Robustelli, outside receiver, to get him off the line so he can use that waggle, hit it running on the corner a little bit. Benji Franklin doesn't overcommit on that inside stutter step, keeping himself in good position to make a play on the ball.
Played that well, didn't he?
Well, he did. That's Benji Franklin's first knockdown of the season, I believe. Number of interceptions, 4 picks on the year. That's his first knockdown.
Harris under pressure. He's in trouble, and he's going to be taken down. First sack of the ball game for the Argos defense. Arcangelo causing all types of problems for Harris, and this isn't a good sign. Harris is very slow to get up.
And Arcangelo, you see the middle linebacker right up at the line of scrimmage. Initially looping to the outside. Just doing a good job staying with it, keeping his eyes on the quarterback. Eventually making the play.
Looked like Trevor Harris sort of got kicked in the stomach at the end of that play as he was still laying on the ground. Argo player was getting up. Got a piece of him. Mirko drops his in near side. Unger on the return. And he's forced out of bounds just outside the 35. Well, families across the country will be feasting Thanksgiving weekend, and we're going to take a look at some of the running backs who feasted more than anyone. Top CFL rushing games of all time.
Yeah, Blaze Bryant, former teammate of mine in Winnipeg at 294. Fred Reed, another former Bomber. I think I worked that game.
You did that game.
The great George Reed at 268 yards. And Ron Stewart actually on Thanksgiving Day, Ottawa, Montreal, which will be Ottawa, Montreal this Thanksgiving.
4 huge games for those gentlemen. Here's the rest of WestJet Thanksgiving weekend. Calgary, Hamilton will get us started tomorrow. Winnipeg and Edmonton from Commonwealth. And then on Thanksgiving, Ottawa, Montreal. Playoff positioning could very much be decided this weekend. Second and 4 for Daggy. Flag at the secondary. Maybe not get this off in time, did he?
Toronto, number 7. 5-yard penalty, and it remains second down.
That'll fire a crowd up, won't it?
It'll fire up a crowd. It's, you know, it's one of those things that you're, again, at risk of having happen. Relatively inexperienced quarterback at Daggy in his first year with the Argos after spending some time with Edmonton. But again, not the way you want to start off a drive, right? Creating longer downs and down and distance situations that are necessary with penalties.
The 2nd and 9 here. Deggy. Oh, he's looking way down the field, and that one incomplete. Marcus Sales tried to look at it over the shoulder, but could not get his hands on it. He's looking for Dorian Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson, a rookie, 6'6" receiver. So you know what they're thinking here is take a shot at the jump ball down the rail.
Marcus Sales just 5'9".
Yeah.
Trying to take advantage of maybe a height mismatch.
Maybe some issues navigating that wind on the throw.
Throw into a strong wind here at Mosaic this evening. So the 3rd and 9. Haggerty will have to kick it away. Drives it into the wind, and looks like it's swirling around a bit now. Alford takes it, 58-yard kick, returns it to the 35 before he runs out of room. And Saskatchewan with a lead in the ball. Try to put this one away when we return to Regina. Trevor Harris 11 yards away from another 300-yard game. That would be 3 in a row. And a couple of veteran quarterbacks in this league putting together nice seasons.
Yeah, they certainly are. Age ain't nothing but a number for these guys. Both have their teams leading their respective divisions and both looking to try and clinch top spot.
This drive will start on Saskatchewan 35, and they'll start it on the ground. And that is pushed right up the middle, back to Bertrand Hudon here for Saskatchewan. Got a little bit of run earlier in the game. That's its 4th carry.
Yeah, and I think when you're the Saskatchewan Roughriders, though, you're still looking to clinch top spot in your division. I think you have to have a little bit of an eye towards that load management for some of your key guys, AJ Oled included, as you move toward the playoffs.
6 yards, Bertrand Hudon. Toronto sends 5. There's flags. Harris takes off. Finds a man. It's Robustelli at midfield. Flags came out. Harris was still in the pocket.
Offside, Saskatchewan, number 18. It's a 5-yard penalty. We'll repeat 2nd down.
Still Duncan Busby.
The receiver a little early on his release.
5th penalty of the game for the Riders. Argos have 10 for 113 yards.
Here we go. We got Rebel left. We got Mo 60 hot. Diesel. Monday, ready. Doesn't matter.
2nd and 9 for Trevor. Argos bring a bunch of heat. Harris hangs in there. Now he's in trouble, and he'll be taken down. Brandon Dozier gets there, his 5th sack of the season. And Toronto will force the Riders to punt.
And watch for Dozier. Kind of timing this up. Just finds his path through unblocked to the quarterback, Trevor Harris. Argos managing the wind. They get 2 returners back here. That's try to make sure they catch the ball in the air. Don't let Saskatchewan get any extra yardage on the punt that hits the ground and rolls.
Ungerer and Grant awaiting the kick. Merkel hangs one up there in the direction of Janarian Grant. He'll take it just outside the 30. Grant contained for most of the night, and they'll contain him here again. Trevor Harris sacked twice tonight. 2nd one, Brandon Dozier. The Argos defense keeps this team in the ball game. Well, 3 more games still to come here in week 19, but here's what the CFL playoff picture looks like right now. And after the Riders tightens up in the West, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Fighting for position, the BC Lions making a tremendous run in this final third of the season. Lions on a bye this week.
the ball, down 5-6 to play. Finds Polk. There's a flag. Back by the quarterback after the catch, which would be enough for a first down. The catch by Polk.
And that flag was thrown late.
Roughing the passer, Saskatchewan, number 11. 15 yards from the end of the play, and an automatic first down.
Malik Carney.
Yeah, Carney from the bottom of your screen. The little bump deemed unnecessary.
Rough ride all night for Daggy. But this one moves the ball inside the Rider 45. Mahan in the game at running back, standing to the left of Daggy. 3 options to his left, 2 to his right. Looks over the middle, now throws out to Herslow. Little slip, there's a flag that you saw fly as Herslow got back up. Still going, and eventually they'll blow this thing down.
Heck of an effort there from Herslow. Just would not quit at the end of that play.
Illegal contact, Saskatchewan, number 32. 10-yard penalty, first down Toronto.
A.J. Allen and a penalty-aided drive for the Argos has them inside the 35.
And you'll see A.J. Allen comes out wide. He's going to line up over top of Mackay Polk here. So he recognizes shifty receiver. He wants to make sure he slows him up a little bit on that release. But a little too much. Essentially back-to-back flags here for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Daggy gets it away. That's down to the 25. Vital's got it. Got about 8 on the play.
Yeah, Vital started off lined up tight to the formation there. Releasing from that tight end spot. This is a little safety valve. Daggy finds him. Great second and very manageable here.
Daggy, after 4 interceptions last week, has looked after the ball thus far tonight. 20 of 28, 214, and a touchdown, no interceptions.
Timeout, Toronto.
And on a 2nd and 2, it'll be a timeout for the Argos.
Yeah, with maybe a little bit of confusion in terms of personnel or not liking what they were seeing. They don't want to make a mistake with this opportunity in terms of field position. 5-point game.
29 yards on the ground tonight on 8 attempts from Spencer Brown. Mahan has not attempted a rush in this game. He stands in to the left of Daggy on a 2nd and 2 from the Rider 25. Flea flicker. Daggy looking to the end zone. No! Oh, how about that? Dorian Anderson couldn't hang on. And it's 3rd down for Toronto.
Yeah, they had the right call. Anderson gets in behind. They said 2 receivers deep. Anderson's going to be to the right side of your screen. But watch how everybody comes up. Anderson's in behind coverage, but against the wind, I think that ball, he can't push it out far enough to let Anderson run to it. He's got all the way to the back of the end zone. He can lead him with that football. Dorian Anderson is 6'6". You're not going to throw it too high.
3rd and 2. Daggy gets it away. Polk, no, incomplete. He missed him, and Polk couldn't recover. The Argos turn it over on downs. Mosaic. The crowd just loves it.
A missed opportunity there for the Toronto Argonauts. I like the call on 2nd down. They were just unable to execute it. Mackay Polk, the number 2 receiver here, second in from the sideline at the bottom of your screen.
Let's go, Sam, let's go. We got shirts right up tight, W close. 39 Oscar pass wide.
He had him, he's open. And with enough yardage, again, right call, just unable to execute at that time.
Harris, now he's going to look deep down the field, hold in. Oh, are you kidding me, Emelis? That's filthy stuff. Harris, Emelis, inside the 45.
Well, go for the big play right after the turnover. Big change in momentum here. Emelis lined up out wide on this one. And Trevor Harris, no doubt, going there all the way. Emelis picks it off the nameplate of Delonte Hood.
Looked even better in slow-mo. Harris, 6'5", 300-yard game of the season. Emelis has 142, 55th 500-yard game, or 300-yard game, rather, of Harris's career. Now they'll go back on the ground to A.J. Ouellette. They don't have Dante Myers. They lose Keyshawn Johnson earlier in this game, but they still have Samuel Emelis. 6 catches, 142 yards, and one sweet little dance. Catch by Emelis was so spectacular. We got to give you a couple more looks at it.
Yeah, Sam Emelis is going down the sideline. Delonte Hood gets himself into position, but doesn't see that the ball is coming. He's got his back turned. Emelis just goes up, plucks it off his shoulder pads for a big gain.
2nd and 3. A.J. Ouellette, heavy contact. Be close, but probably just short. 3rd and 1. On the Toronto 32 with 2:46 on the clock.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders, whose responses have come in rather timely fashion tonight whenever the Argos have closed on them. Big play there from Emelis right after the Argonauts missed an opportunity to take the lead in this ball game.
Tommy Stevens not able to play. Cone in to handle short yardage, 3rd and 1. Pushing it ahead. They tried to pull him back, but looks like he got it with the 2nd effort there. We'll see where this spot is. They're going to take a closer look at it.
Yeah, you saw Cone kind of go into the pile and get bounced, then fight for a little extra ground. So it looks like he's just across that 31-yard line.
Is it enough? Oh, baby! It is not! Turnover on downs the other way. Cone comes up an inch, maybe 2, short of the 1st down.
And you think about some of the very specialized things that teams in the Canadian Football League do in short yardage, right? And it's because these situations are so critical. You know, when you think about a guy like Tommy Stevens being such a niche player, so to speak.
Saskatchewan is challenging the previous play for the spot of the football. Play will be reviewed.
I don't think you can get a look in that overhead shot shot that we've got.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny, when we first looked at it, it looked like he was there. Spot comes up just a couple of inches short. They showed that overhead look here at the stadium. The whole crowd lost their mind. And Corey Mace decided to throw that challenge flag. They needed the 31-yard line for a first down.
Yeah, and again, so I mean, you can see where that 31-yard line is to start the play. Cone gets to his right, hits a little bit of traffic there, and he's just short, but he's still up. You look at where the ball is when he's stopped. I mean, he is at the very least right at the edge of the 31-yard line. We'll see what we get here upon review.
Here's another look at it.
Wasn't they get a better indication here of.
Now, what I think they're saying is that he was down.
Yeah, that's.
He was down. The extra push that we saw from above.
Yeah,
isn't going to count. They're going to say he was down right there, as opposed to that where he clearly gets to the 31.
Yeah.
This spot might be dead on, actually.
So again, Mark, that's the line you're looking for. So he's just short of it. And yeah, I think the argument is
that he's down right there, right?
Yeah, he's down before he actually pushes, is able to push across that line. He's just short.
That's about as close as you can get. All right, they're going to re-measure this after an adjusted spot. That ball is sitting smack dab on the 31 right now.
After review by the replay center, the spot of the ball is moved. We will remeasure to see if it's a first down.
If it's moved an inch, it'll probably be a first down. It was that close. Riders looking for first place in the West. After the challenge, will they get the first down? Yes! Saskatchewan finds a way. Guess that's why you take another look at it.
Yeah. Tough break for Ryan Dinwiddie and the Toronto Argonauts, but a sigh of relief from Jack Cole.
Here we go. We got trips left, left tight, W close. We got 30 flush, 5 fan, Monday ready.
First and 10 after all of that. The dust settles. Ball sitting right on the 31. Harris will take it. Hand it off to A.J. Ouellette. Bounces back. Bouncing off a few bodies. Takes it down inside the 25. 6 yards will put him smack dab at the 25. 6 hard yards for A.J. Ouellette.
Violent run there for Ouellette.
Sixth play of this drive, a big one from Emilus. Flip the field after a turnover on downs at the other end. Harris look to his left, throws to his right. That's another first down. Schaefer Baker moves the sticks, no measurement needed.
Yeah, Schaefer Baker knows where the sticks are. He's just going to sit it down.
Timeout, Toronto.
All right, quick turn to the outside. He's not going to continue to the sideline into the defender. He knows he's in between those two guys. Just sits it down. A quick turn gets him the first down.
Argos will use their final timeout.
Obviously looking to preserve time, but critical obviously for the Toronto Argonauts.
Ace left switch, W box. We got 30.
You know, they can't give up more than a field goal here, but they also got to force Saskatchewan into that third down situation as quickly as possible.
They'll give it to Ouellette up the middle. And he'll be stuffed at the 14. Helmet pops off again. Second time tonight that's happened. 93 seconds on the clock.
You can't let Corey Mason, the Riders, get another fresh set of downs here. The Argos need to get the stop. Ouellette and Saskatchewan running strong here.
Ouellette moves right of Harris over to the left. Harris now, end zone, and that is incomplete. Was looking for Emelis. Couldn't find it that time.
Emelis out of the slot on this one. He's going to bend it out in the end zone. Just beyond his fingertips.
Looked like a little bit of a stumble coming out of the turn and couldn't get there. Lawther, 4 for 4. This one straight away, 22. 5 for 5 for the veteran kicker. Eight-point game. Daggie's about to get it back with 66 seconds left. No timeouts. See what he can put together.
Yeah, Daggy, who led a game-winning drive. He came on in relief of Nick Arbuckle against Edmonton a few weeks ago. Led a drive that led to a Liram Hairolahu walk-off field goal. This time he needs a little more. Touchdown and a 2-point convert with just 1:06 on the clock. So big test for the youngster.
That wind will be blowing at the back of Lawther. Be able to hammer this one pretty deep. Janarian Grant stands back at his 5. Looks like McMahon back there as well. Couple of options. Lawther will smoke this one away. McMahon takes it just inside the 10. Back to the 20. Finds the 30, 37 before he's taken down. And with 60 seconds on the clock, Daggie's got to go the distance.
Yeah, Argos were no doubt hoping they might get a little bit more from the return. Take a little bit of the heat off Jared Daggy as you see his numbers on the evening.
Riders wanting this crowd behind the defense. They'll come to their feet at Mosaic with first place looming here in the West.
Procedure, Toronto, number 61. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
12th penalty of the game for the Argos.
And you can hear the level of crowd noise increase. Toronto Argonaut offense. Get in a no-huddle type situation, and your communication down there at field level is so important. These fans will do whatever they can to disrupt it.
Daggy, deep drop, gets it away, over the middle, intercepted, taken away at midfield. A.J. Allen has it, but there's a flag back by Daggy. Oh, is this roughing the passer again? We wait for the call from Justin McInnes. Replay center obviously in his ear.
Yeah, Habakkuk Baldonado got a piece of.
Interception. There's no flag on the previous play.
Oh, baby.
Saskatchewan.
Here you'll see the hit that was debated. Shoulder to the chest, didn't lead with his helmet or anything, and the ball had just gone.
Corey Mace loving it. Baldonado loving it. Everyone here at Mosaic loving that. A.J. Allen back-to-back weeks with an interception. His third of the year. The final dagger tonight for the Argos.
And that, not the last drive, but the second last drive is the one that's going to haunt the Toronto Argonauts.
Let's get it. Got to figure out what's going on with Wilson's game ball. Let's send it back down to Luke.
Dustin, I got to give it more of a season ball to head coach Corey Mace. I mean, it's his second year. First year, they're 9-8-1. In his second year, they have this season where they clinched already with 2 weeks to go. And he's also the defensive coordinator. And their defense has been stellar all year long. And you saw it again tonight. Huge plays at huge moments. Very, very physical. If you're a Saskatchewan Roughrider fan, you've got to be pretty thankful you've got this guy in your building right now, because he's clearly got this team rolling. It's a huge win. It's a huge season thus far. I know they got a lot of things they want to accomplish, but I'm giving my game ball to that man right there. The unbelievable job he's done with this program.
Fitting game ball on a night that they're going to clinch the West, eh, Dwayne?
Yeah, absolutely. Corey Mace. We have had plenty of opportunities to chat with Corey over the years, whether it's been as player, assistant coach, now head coach. And yeah, you can recognize where this is a pretty easy guy to follow. And his Saskatchewan Roughriders have followed all the way to the top of the West Division.
About to move to 12-4, 6-2 at home on the year. Third and 12. Look at the special teams unit. Back out here. Urko awaiting this snap. Janarian Grant runs back. We'll wait at the 5-yard line with 8 seconds on the clock. Urko kicks it away. Grant will take it. Can he find a way? Janarian Grant just inside the 10, and that'll do it. The road to the Grey Cup through the West will run through Regina. Saskatchewan, first place, 27-19, the final here at Mosaic. Trevor Harris, 340 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chatting with Dinwiddie, an Argos group that had already been eliminated coming in, but put up a good fight.
Yeah, you knew the Toronto Argonauts were going to give the Riders everything they had. These two guys coached together offensive coordinators. They've been through much together, so a nice moment there as they exchange words after the game.
Nick Arbuckle, a great season for the Argos, unable to go tonight. And the head coach of the Riders, Corey May, stands by with Britt Dorr.
Corey, you tell us the goal every week is to go 1-0, but this 1-0 officially clinched you first in the West Division. How do you feel?
Just so happy for the guys, happy for our fan base. Rider Nation, we're going to be able to host the West Final here. Expecting a packed house, and hopefully we give them something to cheer about. But just so proud of everybody in the organization, and these guys work hard for this.
Well, I know it's just your second season as head coach. Somebody who's been an influence on you, I'm sure, Ryan Dinwiddie. What did he tell you in that moment?
We just shared personal words of affection, man. I love that guy. A lot of reason I'm here today talking to you because of him. So nothing but love and respect there. And I just want to reflect on our guys, man. Just so proud of them.
I have to ask, why did you avoid the Gatorade shower from your teammates here?
Yeah, not for me. Not for me.
All right, well, 2 weeks to go in the season. What do you need to see from this group?
Listen, there's a lot we still need to improve on. So we'll attack the tape, and we'll keep pushing on. And the goal still remains the same. We got a game to win next week.
Thanks so much, Coach. Congratulations.
Micah Johnson just needs to be a little bit sneakier with that Gatorade, doesn't he?
Yeah, heck of a stiff arm delivered by Coach Mace there. But listen, he has earned the right to have whatever level of celebration he wants. Terrific season thus far for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and obviously they look to continue it. You come into the season, first goal, you want to clinch a playoff spot. Secondly, you want to clinch a home playoff game. Third, you want to clinch a bye. Those have all been accomplished for the Saskatchewan Roughriders at this point. Now you want to maintain momentum, maintain health, and get on to the playoffs.
27-19, the final here for the Riders. They clinch top spot in the West, and they'll have to win one game at home to book a ticket to the Grey Cup in Winnipeg. A fantastic Friday night for those in attendance at Mosaic as Saskatchewan gets the job done. That'll do it for us here in Regina Sports Center. Mark Rowe, Glenn Sheeler is next.
Get ready